Like I said yesterday, coming out of that video, okay, we're just going to be looking at the numbers here, and this isn't going to be a cope session or anything like that. We are just going to take a look at the red tsunami that it definitely wasn't, okay, the red wave that some people are arguing just wasn't there, but if you take a look at the numbers, you take a look at who was voting, where they were voting, okay, and what the actual results are, you know what, it just kind of proved the fact that this country is more polarized than it has ever been. The places that were red went even redder. The places that are blue went even bluer. And that mythical middle ground that's there, it doesn't exist. It's a binary country. It has been for a while. It was just simply crystallized last night. At least for what has been decided, okay? Because it's funny. They were putting out all that information. Oh, we won't know for like a few days, okay? If, you know, what exactly all the votes are going to shake out being. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. And then Pennsylvania was called within a couple of hours. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So when your candidates win, it's, okay, I understand. But no. We'll take a look at all the finger pointing that's going on right now because it's typical, okay? And again, it's always a knee-jerk reaction whenever something happens, okay? You see it whenever there's a school shooting. Oh my God, we need to ban all those firearms that are out there, okay? Won't you please think of the children? All of these emotional pleas, and I haven't seen such bitch-made fucking behavior from so many people out there with fucking verified check marks without having to buy them, of course, okay? From all of the big-brained intelligentsia that are out there. Just saying, this was all Trump's fault. Trump wasn't on the ballot, by the way, okay? Oh my God, but all of his endorsements failed. Did they, though? Like, okay, take a look at the people that he endorsed, and oh yeah, if you're looking at the, you know, long shot endorsements, okay, that he made, it's like, yeah, okay, they didn't work, but did they underperform what they should have? Yeah, who really knows? But we'll take a look at the numbers that we have so far, and I'm not happy with a lot of the analysis that's out there, okay? Most of it, I think, is incomplete. And the rest of it's, well, really agenda-driven. There's a couple of people that I think did really good fucking work last night, okay? Case in point, Steven Crowder, okay? It's somebody who I think I've probably gotten more belly laughs out of wandering the halls of a children's cancer ward. But when it comes to analyzing data and being a political pundit, I don't think that there's very many better than him. And he's made some very good points about the situation, okay? It all harkens back to Trump's major weakness, okay? When it comes to endorsing candidates, okay, he can only, and I believe this was Razorfist that also pointed this out as well, Trump can only endorse the candidates, okay? Because you take a look at his primary track record, and it was pretty fucking spotless, by the way. Couple of fucking duds, but most of the time he put his name on a candidate in a primary, and they fucking won, okay? But when you put him into a general election, you can only endorse the people that are there, and if a fucking establishment hack, Mitch McConnell, who's going to be retiring sometime during, you know, the next couple of years, all you can do is back that person, okay? And if they're uncharismatic, if they're not articulate, if they aren't exciting in any form or fashion, that's what your party has, okay? And you want to put your name to it, and you want to try to push them forward into the future. Sometimes it's better that they lost, okay, and then just dance on their grave afterwards than to actually have them elected, like Oz in Pennsylvania. Like, I don't think anybody's really shedding a tear and, you know what, lamenting the fact that that meme factory, that absolute fucking lol cow is going to be walking the halls, or I guess probably stumbling through the halls of Congress. But we'll get to that in a moment, because now here's all the people that don't have your best interest at heart, just want to see the infighting in the Republican Party over the next couple of years, because their own platform, their bench, okay, as for new candidates coming through, they don't have anybody over there on the left. This is something that I've been talking about for a long time. Smarter people than I, too, have also opined on. Like, who the fuck do they run, okay? If Joe Biden, if he drops dead tomorrow, not wishing for it, but it's a very real possibility. The motherfucker is ancient and he doesn't have all of his marbles about him. So if he trips down the stairs, okay, you're going to have Kamala Harris, who of all of the high-profile elected officials that are out there, if you thought Joe Biden's disapproval rating was fucking high, okay, the gap between approval and disapproval of Kamala Harris is gargantuan, as opposed to anybody who's possible for 2024. And what, you'd run Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttplug? Like, there's nobody out there, okay? Bernie will probably try to, I don't know, he'll get some fucking cybernetic organs and try to run again in 2024. Now it'll be Bernie's time. Okay, cool, just fine. Just we know why you're running. You just want to get a new house. That's fine. The DNC will pay for that. But that's what all of these talking heads are talking about right now. Okay, this is MSNBC talking about it. This is James Carville, a Democrat strategist. Okay, don't you think that it's a little bit of a tip off that this is just a touch of obfuscation? Okay, trying to distract from his own party's inadequacies in order to just put all of the heat on the Republican Party right now that are doing a lot of head scratching. It's like, we should have had 300 seats in the House. It's like, bruh, where were those fucking seats actually going to come from? Okay, nobody was offering any solutions that were out there. Republicans are just going to take the House. It's like at the end of the day, they still are going to, okay? It's just not going to be this commanding lead, but if you're still going to be leading, what's the fucking difference here, okay? And then you take a look at the math in the Senate, it's like, okay, taking back a majority in the Senate, you were always going to need the stars to align on that one, okay? And also for Maricopa County to not be Maricopa County, but we'll talk about them very shortly as well. But it's like, yo, you were fighting an uphill battle on this one. The next few election cycles, they're going to be a little bit easier. The math shakes out a lot better for them, and we could be in store for something incredibly special in 2024, but we got to get there first and get through all of the, well, quite frankly, incoming infighting that's going to be happening, okay? You've already have your one side lining up, okay? You have those reformed never-Trumpers over at Daily Wire championing, oh, we need Ron DeSantis because of his crushing victory that's out there. It's like, I don't give a fuck what you guys have to say about all that shit, okay? You're Johnny-come-latelys, just fucking stay over there. Continue your own infighting with Candace Owens, okay? You got Mike Thurnabitch fucking melting down saying Trump can't carry a general election. He's not a kingmaker. It's like, oh my God. Just do some more Wim Hof breathing and go fuck your mother. God, you're worthless. So there are going to be some people exposing themselves in the lead up to this, well, runoff election that we're going to be seeing here very shortly, but don't get bogged down in the weeds, okay? Sorry for my voice. It sounds like I'm delivering it through a cardboard tube. The temperatures up here in my neck of the woods, over the past 8 days, it was 11 degrees Celsius above zero last Monday. Today, this morning, 30 below zero. We've had a 40-degree swing, so I don't really know what the heck is actually going on. But your boy's not in the best of health right now. Everything is still, I'm far more cognitively aware than the newest Pennsylvania senator and definitely the president of the United States, okay? I just kind of sound and might do a couple of squeaky voice little ticks, but I got a lot to say about this because I don't know, man. A bunch of the people who were trying to push their own agenda on this stuff were trying to already say that, oh my God, the time of the Republican is over. Oh my God, we just need to go ahead and, I don't know, embrace our old 2012 and earlierness. It's like, bro, I don't know what these people are doing. Well, I know exactly what they're doing. I shouldn't say that, okay? They just want to return back to the comfort of the Republican Party losing with dignity. Because mean Trump, man, he just says things we don't like. He says things that are true, but it's just, we don't really like him being so mean. It's like, just fuck off already. It's just bitch-made behavior, and it's everywhere right now. But this is just knee-jerk reactions, of course. It's like, just look at the fucking numbers and figure this shit out yourself. A Democratic consultant and political commentator James Carville said Wednesday on MSNBC's Morning Joe that former President Donald Trump, where was he on the ballot this time around? Oh, okay, right, okay. Was the reason Democrats didn't lose up to 57 seats in the House of Representatives. Where did you find these 57 fucking seats? Okay, did you really think? Okay, because when the Democrats walked into the Senate, they only had 218 seats. Okay. Like during the first Obama midterm, okay, 246, was that what I was seeing? Okay, that was about the highest, at least in modern time, that I've seen the Republicans ever get it up to. Did you think that was possible? Okay, like, what are you talking about here? That was never gonna fucking happen, okay? The House has historically been controlled by Democrats. I understand that. But if you just try to upsell this massive fucking victory that was apparently right there for the GOP to come in there and snatch up, and then they missed it, and then they're only going to get a slight majority in the House, it's like, bruh, they're still going to end up fucking winning at the end of the day. They're still going to have the majority that's out there. It's just not as thorough of an ass kicking that you were anticipating. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I don't want to get conspiratorial and say that every single House election was being, Jimmy rigged or anything like that. It's like, no, I don't actually believe that, because mostly that's just way too difficult to do at just a granular level, okay? I think that there's some other things that we might have some interesting takes on, but we'll, of course, here in a moment, and I've already been rambling far and long enough, but it harkens back to the old saying, don't take advice from anybody that you wouldn't be willing to take criticism from, okay? So co-host Joe Scarborough asked, but James, this is just the ebb and flow of politics. Bill Clinton wins big in 1992, thanks to Ross Perot splitting the vote, and then also taking a look at Congress right there, and that wasn't it didn't really play out. So, conflating a general election with a midterm election is kind of retarded, but okay. Idiots like me get elected in 1994. Obama wins massively in 2008. Again, crushing a can, a theme you're going to see here in a moment when we take a look at these results this time around. Tea Party wins big in 10. And then John Boehner immediately cries and cucks out and kills the Tea Party movement, which Trump took up. It's like, oh, wait, there is some kind of a movement here? Oh, cool, we're just going to blow that up. And now we have the current manifestation of the Republican Party fighting against the establishment part of the Republican Party, which is still incredibly strong. Could you explain to those people who don't know politics as well as you how historic last night was? All right, Carvel said, I'm going to try. If I put everything in a computer, we should have lost 57 seats. No. Okay, I think at best, what were the projections from yesterday? Single-digit victories all the way up until about 20-something? Okay. I don't know where the 57 comes from. Again, this is just gaslighting everybody. Oh, the Republicans, man. It should have just been all It should have been 438 seats in the House, okay? The Senate should have completely flipped, even though the math doesn't work out like that. And Joe Biden, man, he should just be the lamest of lame duck presidents that are out there. Isn't that kind of a self-own on your own politics? It's like, we were expecting to get our asses kicked, but we really only walked away with, just a black eye. It wasn't quite that bad. Come on. And not everything's even counted yet because, every other developed nation in the world, okay, and some third world countries can finish elections, count them, and, have the results out there for the masses to know, within a couple of hours, but not the United States. We got to drag this shit out and make a fucking week out of it. Okay, cool. It's like a bitch who has a fucking birthday on a Monday or a Tuesday and wants to make it an entire fucking birthday week, for Christ's sakes. And some bitches are out there saying, it's my birthday month. It's like, oh, bitch, it's always about you anyways. But let's get back to this. Okay, so the reason is Donald Trump. He brought people out to vote against this. Sorry, what? Okay, he had a suppressive effect. Oh, okay, cool. That's... Anyways, okay, put a pin in that, I suppose. He out-Trumped inflation and crime. Okay, the things that were right at the top of the list for what people were talking about of what election issues they were most concerned about, okay. He out-Trumpeted the normal cycle of the first off-year election with an incumbent president. When political historians unearth this, they're going to find more we missed this morning. He added, the one person I think the Democratic candidate to my nomination is Josh Shapiro. He was supposed to win. There were no polls that were out there except for a couple of outlier polls that said that Mastriano was going to win. That was just hopeful thinking by a bunch of people that were out there trying to put a Republican in the governor's mansion in, I forget what the capital of Pennsylvania is, but he kind of looks like a gnome. They should just make it Hershey, Pennsylvania in order to fit the theme. He got involved in a Republican primary. He made sure he had Mastriano. Mastriano was the best of the candidates available. You can only nominate and you can only endorse the candidates that are fucking available to you. Mastriano was a good pick. He still is a good pick, okay? He was just the best of a fucking terrible situation, if we're going to call it completely what it is. He did not run away from the crime issue like Shapiro did, but I don't know, man. Pennsylvania is just a glutton for punishment. I would make the argument, and you can make the argument, he had a large part in Fetterman winning the Senate race. Actually, good transition there. I wasn't even planning this because I didn't read any of this. I just seen this fucking headline and it's like, this is just retarded, okay? They are obviously trying to leak out some information. Hopefully people will bite on it right at the heat of all of their emotions. We were promised a red wave and it wasn't delivered. It's like, just look at the numbers. But no, that's difficult. I want to be up in my feelings. Because that's what elections are now, right? Okay, it used to be a time where you take a look at the numbers, you'd take a look at what the count is, and then you'd assign your winner. No. Now you want your winner in order to make you feel good. I want you to make you feel validated. You want to see yourself represented. So I guess all the retards in Pennsylvania finally have somebody in the Senate that properly encapsulates their feelings. Trump furious over Dr. Oz loss, blaming wife Melania, according to a report. Now... Okay, now I would sort of agree with this. I would sort of believe it, mostly because what is the major crux? Okay, what is the worst thing that you can say about Trump? Okay, constructive criticism wise, because there's a lot of people that say a lot of dog shit things about Trump. Okay, but what is the biggest hang up people have when it comes to going along with Trump? He takes bad advice from people that don't have his best interests at heart, okay? He surrounds himself with fucking incompetent assholes. That has been something that has been out there for a long time, and something that if he doesn't improve on, yeah, man, I would have to get off the Trump train at that point in time, okay? It's something that I never thought would happen, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, cool, if you're just going to have Kushner and your daughter, okay, continue to advise you and make bad fucking decisions, if you're going to continue to delegate any responsibility to the likes of Mitch McConnell and other swamp creatures, okay, have Mike Pompeo by your side, who's kind of a nice guy, but he's a bit of a fucking deep state actor that's out there, okay? And if you're going to continue to try to drain the swamp while at the same time embracing some people that are within the swamp, it's not going to work out that way. I would say, okay, if you see going forward, because he's obviously going to announce for 2024 here very shortly, might wait until after the runoff now, but maybe he's going to announce in order to bolster the runoff. Not entirely sure, because that's his boy at the end of the day, but we'll talk about that here in a second, okay? If he starts to have his son, Don Jr., okay, and Eric too, if he has his sons closer to him as opposed to his daughter, that's a good direction, but more on that towards the end of this stuff. We'll just see. We'll see if these are good faith actors that are in here. Former President Donald Trump was reportedly furious Wednesday morning about Republican Dr. Mehmet Oz's loss. Yeah, no spoilers. We haven't even got to the results yet, but in the crucial Pennsylvania Senate race, and was blaming those in his circle, including wife Melania, for urging him to support the now failed candidate. I would kind of agree with that, but then that also is kind of exactly the same thing that you'd see from Trump to begin with. He likes celebrity. Okay, he thinks, okay, and this could be another one of those things because, okay, just to draw an analogy that's out there, okay, you had guys like Ted Williams, even in hockey, okay, you had Wayne Gretzky, you had Bobby Orr, they went in and they were head coaches. They were ultimately unsuccessful in those roles because they are anomalies, okay, they are some of the best who have ever done it. They are one-off individuals. They can't teach other people to be great, okay, outside of Carrie Lake, like, I don't see another Trump running around anywhere. I like DeSantis a lot, okay? And never take this as a fucking shit-talking of Ron DeSantis until I come out and say I'm shit-talking DeSantis. I like him. If he's in 2024, if he's the nominee for the Republican Party, okay, congratulations, okay? As long as no fucking backroom deals are made, he is 100% going to get my support. Whatever the fuck that means. But Trump looked over at Dr. Oz, seen that, oh yes, you were on TV just like I was. That'll be great. It'll be fantastic. He's going to be the guy who's going to come forward for the Republican Party. He's definitely he's the shiniest toy in the box. I'll endorse him. He's going to win. Trump likes a celebrity. Trump likes a winner. In the primary, Oz was the best one there. A lot of people liked Kathy Barnett, okay, but she had a bunch of skeletons in her closet, and then again, you put her against Fetterman, that's a problem. And this is something that, because I was watching back some of the Steven Crowder coverage this morning when I was exercising, he brought up a very, very, very good point, okay? In order for Republicans to succeed, you need a stark contrast between your two candidates that are running against each other, okay? With Fetterman and Oz, you didn't really see anything different, okay? Mostly because Oz was just there, and Fetterman, well, he was barely there, okay? But when it came to policy, like, what exactly did they really disagree on? Like, Oz was all right with abortion, transitioning. He might have reduced some taxes, but like outside of that, he was just waiting to be that swing vote that Joe Manchin is for the Democrats. He was waiting to have more power and not really do anything. He was going to line up with the rest of the rhinos, so nobody's really shedding a tear that he didn't end up, taking over for Pat Toomey. who in of himself is a fucking rhino to begin with. So yeah, just give this seat to the Democrats because they've been controlling it forever, okay? Whatever the fuck. Pick somebody better in 6 years' time when you run against whoever replaces Fetterman, because you're just going to see him, I don't know, maybe lean on that fucking speaker's podium up there in the Senate House and watch his brain leak out of his fucking ear. Like, this dude's going to die in the Senate. Not hoping for it. I'm just saying, we can, fucking read the room at this point. But Oz was a bad candidate. A lot of people knew that. Everybody could see that from the outside looking in. If there was an opportunity for Sean Parnell to be running again, things would have been completely different, because Sean has a personality. He has a platform. He is the embodiment of the America First Republican that's out there. He would have dog-walked Fetterman. That wouldn't have been close, okay? But we can't live in the world of should, would, and could. We have to live in the world of what is, and Oz fucking sucked, okay? New York Times reporter and author Maggie Haberman, who's being sued for being a liar by Project Veritas, tweeted the stunning claim: do these people have your best interests in mind, or are they just trying to sow division within the Republican Party? Just keep that in mind. And again, this is one of those stories where you'd think that, hey, you know what? Hey, everybody, at least on the Republican side, the Trump supporters that are out there, they know that Trump supports himself and listens to some really strange people. He keeps a lot of strange little ducks in his fucking close inner circle. He listens to his family a little bit too much for comfort, okay? So by tweeting that out and backing up, who did she back up on this one? Haberman's tweet also backed up an initial report by CNN host Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta, the exact same reporter that was going back and forth with Trump every single fucking time he was picked on as the CNN White House correspondent. Bruh, this isn't a real thing, okay? And how would these people know what's going on in the inner circle of Trump to begin with? Take that with a bucket of salt. You're going to be seeing a lot of these types of reports coming up in the very, very short term, okay? Once everybody starts announcing and everybody wants to do their Monday morning quarterbacking off of the midterm elections when they're finally done and dusted. I'm just saying, check your sources, see how honest the reporting is going to be and who is doing it, okay? Because if you think the New York Times and CNN have your best interest at heart, I don't know what to tell you. You're probably not watching this video at this point in time, but let's just get into this, okay? And yeah, you guys probably already know exactly where we're sitting, and at least right now, like it looks like it's already been refreshed, okay? We got a running ticker right here. So obviously, the Republicans up 8 seats, which is, it's on the low end of the projection, but still within the predicted margins, okay? But if you take an analysis and you take a look at certain races that are out there, like there's a couple, right? Like I really like Joe Kent. And the fact that he is, 5% back, or 5 points back, that's fucked. Because even yesterday when we were looking at the 538 results, okay, he was, there was absolutely zero chance that he was going to lose that race. And now with, what do we got, 66% to the vote, which is bruh, we are, a day after the fact, and you only have 2/3 of the votes counted. I don't know where the rest of them are going to be coming from, okay? I don't know specifically what the leaning of that county is. Maybe Kent will end up pulling it off. I really hope so, because he's really fucking great. But one of the other big surprises of the House, okay, is Lauren Boebert down there in Colorado. Oh my God, that is 0.2 percentage points, okay? That is at least, holy fuck, that is 60. That is 62 votes separating her and Adam Fritsch. She's probably going to end up pulling this out, but that shouldn't have been close. But it is Colorado after all, and Colorado is, well, it's been overtaken by commie Californians. Let's call it exactly what it fucking is, okay? People who live in Colorado, which is just little California at this point, have known that for a long time. Boulder and Denver run the fucking joint. But no word of a lie, if the Democrats do manage to take any sort of W from the America First agenda, unseating Lauren Boebert, who, for my money, she's one of the better candidates and one of the better members of the House, who's a part of that caucus. And losing her, it would suck and would be incredibly unanticipated. But I don't know how much money they dumped into that election right there, the Democrats did. But I do know one thing, okay, because you got over here, okay, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, why am I highlighting that one? She won, but she got 2/3 of the vote. Congratulations for that one. I like her in the fact that she's a little bit of a shit stirrer, but some of her insider trading deals, and her campaign ideas are a little iffy, but the Democrats also spent $11 million on that race to, I don't know, just piss it down the drain. But as you can see there, like, I don't think that she won by that big of a margin in 2020 when she first ran, okay? But she got 2/3 of the vote, okay? And that was my big takeaway when it came to all of this stuff. Because you take a look at this country right here, and it is a red country with blue districts, okay? Like, that's pretty obvious, and I guess we can check in on that one, but just as a kind of a slight indictment of ranked choice voting in Alaska, you take a look at what Republicans, okay, the amount of support Republicans have in general, okay, they have 50% of the vote right there, but it's broken apart by two different candidates, one establishment, Nick Bejic, and Sarah Palin, endorsed by Trump. That's what you can accomplish right there with ranked choice voting, okay? You can have somebody who will end up getting elected with 47% of the vote just because two other people are either supported or well-funded, splitting the ticket, and then you end up with somebody who nobody really wants in office. But another thing that I made mention of yesterday, take a look at these border counties, okay? You got Tony Gonzalez, okay? These are these border counties, the ones that are actually getting hit hardest down there at the border, and they won, okay? And you got that little gerrymandered district, okay? Veronica Escobar ended up beating a Latina woman. That's a problem because there's another one that was at least highly praised. Somebody who I didn't do a lot of research into, Mayra Flores. Okay, she was pushed pretty hard by some people out on social media. Like, I seen her names in a bunch of different circles. But there's something to this Latina female running on a Republican ticket that is just not palatable for people. I'm just making an observation right there, and there might be some good ones that are out there. I'm just saying, when it actually gets to being on the ballot, they come up short. It's almost like the traditionally masculine men who would be voting for Republicans would see a little Latina female on the ballot, and they wouldn't be inclined to. Not saying that's their culture or anything like that, and if I didn't, I don't think I made that clear. But the demographics of those areas, you got your Latino male voters who have a certain amount of cultural influence within them. I don't know if they turn up to vote or if they want to put pen to paper on that one. That's just speculation. Don't know for sure or not. But outside of that, man, that's what we know for the House. I'm going to be paying attention to Joe Kent and Lauren Boebert. Looks like Boebert's probably sneaking that one out because the last time I checked, it was about 1 percentage point. But now they're getting closer to the drop dead date. And yeah, it's within 60 fucking votes. Like, come on, bruh. It's changing. It's changing. But yeah, as for the Senate and all that shit, Nevada, yeah, man. Adam Laxalt, yeah. Nevada should be getting all that smoke right now because it really, really, really looks like the governor's mansion and the Senate is going to be flipping in Nevada, okay? All of those years and all of Harry Reid's fucking influence in that state is all being thrown out the window because they locked down the state that relies on tourism for so fucking long. Couldn't be happier to see it because Nevada's a great place to live and move. There's no state income tax, okay? A lot of growth opportunity. Things really moving out there, okay? And then, yeah, it was made mention before, but yeah, Oz completely and totally shit the bed just about by 5 points. Sucks to suck. Now you don't have a TV spot, but I'm sure you're going to be able to suck up to Oprah's ample ass. You'll be able to get a slot back and just, I don't know, slag off Trump. That's probably all you need to do here going forward, and then just continue to, I don't know, interview a bunch of cucks that are out there. Have fun with that, whatever. But J.D. Vance beating the brakes off of Tim Ryan. Liz Cheney's endorsements doing real nice. Just didn't quite get to that 10-point margin that I was anticipating, but still, man, 6.5 points, that's pretty laudable. I'm just saying, if you think Ohio or even Florida, which Florida is the big story for Republicans and the one talking point that all of those fucking doomers out there, it's like, we need to go with DeSantis, he's the way of the future. I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, you got to take a look at the opposition. Nobody likes Val Demings. Nobody was talking about Val Demings. Who the fuck knew who Marco Rubio was going to be running against? And again, who the fuck is Marco Rubio? He got the Trump endorsement, okay? He was also a benefactor of being on the same ticket as the most popular governor in the entire fucking union, okay? He got the bump. And that's one thing that not many other places can say, because you take a look at the rest of the governors that are out there, okay? Is there anybody even on equal footing as Ron DeSantis? That is absolutely 100% a unique situation. And if Marco Rubio had stiffer competition, well, we might be looking at a different situation. Arizona, as of right now, just to check in, yeah, it's still sitting at about 4.5 points, but yeah, it's only 3/4 of the vote brought in. But don't worry, guys, we're supposed to have everything figured out probably by Friday. Should have about 95 to 99% of the vote counted by Friday. Where have we heard that before? But yeah, something that ruffled a lot of people's feathers, okay? Trump put out a tweet, okay? Or I guess a truth, whatever the fuck it is over there on his little platform, okay? When Michael Bennet, okay, because he's the incumbent, and for whatever reason, it's kind of like the same thing where Democrats were floating out the idea, well, there's actually an opportunity for us to flip Oklahoma. Are you fucking retarded? There's not a single county. We could even just run this back. There's not even a single fucking House seat in Oklahoma that ended up being remotely close. Like, even still, what's that? That's not close, okay? The 59% is about the lowest. That is the lowest percentage that Republicans got there. Oh, but it's going to be really close in the governor's mansion. You just watch. I think that was probably an op that went out there. It's like there's no validity to that claim at all whatsoever, but nice try, I suppose. Colorado, it's been going blue, and it has been blue for the better part of 2 decades, okay? And yeah, I guess there was some idea that there was going to be a shot at this one, but you take a look at that, and just a cunt hair under 8 points. Michael Bennet won re-election, where, again, you're going against an incumbent with a who-gives-a-fuck candidate, Joe O'Dea. I didn't hear about this guy, mostly because did anybody really take the Colorado Senate race seriously? Well, that's a place that Republicans can just gain a foothold into. That was because Establishment Incorporated was trying to push that forward, okay? Because you take a look at who he was, because I had to do a little bit of research. Like, I've heard of Mike Bennet, okay, covering a bunch of different things that go on in the Senate, because I'm no Johnny come fucking lately when it comes to politics. I do this shit day in and day out. I'm just not quite as, queer as some of the other fucks that like to talk about politics all the time, not quite as autistic. But even still, I'd never heard of Joe O'Dea before. And likely never will in the future, because this guy don't have a fucking political hope left in him. Colorado was once a battleground state, but it has leaned Democrat for around 2 decades. In the 2020 presidential election, Joe Biden won the state by 13 points. Yeah, exactly. So why did you think the Senate was going to be an opportunity? Republicans, though, believe they can gain a Senate seat with a construction company CEO and first-time candidate Joe O'Dea, who is running against incumbent Democrat Senator Michael Bennet. O'Dea is different from many Republican Senate candidates in the midterms. And this is why Trump danced on his fucking corpse. It's like, you lost by just about double digits. Get fucked, fucker. He has distanced himself from Trump and has said that Trump should not run for president in 2024. O'Dea has also said he would not back any abortion bans under 20 weeks. So why the fuck are you running as a Republican? Oh, because the Uniparty needed one of their boys to fucking have a Candy Crush? Something like that, rings a little bit too true. But that's also what you're finding in the governor's mansion, okay? Looks like Joe Lombardo. And again, yeah, Nevada going red. That's really great, okay? The big story, Pennsylvania going for Josh Shapiro. It's like, is anybody surprised? Okay. The polls had him up just about across the board. Could have been closer, but it wasn't at the end of the day, because, I don't know, Pennsylvania loves pain and suffering. Well, at least at least Philadelphia and Pittsburgh do. As for the rest of the state, which was actually remarkably red, because can we take a look at that a little bit closer? Yeah, you take a look at that. It's a red state with a bunch of little blue enclaves, okay? Pittsburgh specifically, okay? Outside, Harrisburg's the state capital, right? My mistake. And then Philadelphia, yep, all the suburbs and shit, okay? A bunch of Pennsylvania, New York City suburbs. Shit happens, bro. But Shapiro, the AG, the guy in charge of the laws and the policies that are on the books that have led to the rapid decline of Philadelphia, you get what you fucking deserve, I guess. Not as bad as New York, which was actually close. Like I said, I was optimistic about Zeldin's chances yesterday. I just didn't think that he'd be able to pull it off. But you got within 5 points. Or it's like, okay, New York, again, pain and suffering. I guess that's what you guys like. But Florida right there. Just about a 20-point victory for Big Ron right there. 19 and a half, okay? If we can be fair and charitable about that, okay? But look who he was running against. Like, that was a laughingstock for everybody. He crushed a fucking can. He did it well, and he still had to do it at the end of the day, and he proved his worth throughout the rest of the fucking year, okay? I'm not taking that away from him. And the fact that, you know what, he got to win Miami fucking Dade County, a district that Hillary Clinton in 2016 won by 30 fucking points. 30 points. And then in 2020, Trump had it down to about 7 points. And then, hey man, Ron DeSantis capitalized on the groundwork that Trump installed for him. But he still had to put in the legwork. He still did a good job. And the fact that, hey man, Florida, at least for the time being, until a charismatic Democrat who isn't a 3-time loser like Beto O'Rourke, who ended up also getting a similar ass kicking. It was only about 10% by a guy in a fucking wheelchair. Really does suck to suck. I look forward to your 2024 presidential campaign, Beto. That'll be fun to mock. For people saying that Ron DeSantis, oh, look at the way that he carried Florida. He's the future of the Republican Party. I agree, okay? But if you're going to criticize in the same breath Trump for not being able to be a kingmaker, Ron DeSantis also campaigned for Lee Zeldin, and how exactly did that work out? And who else did he endorse that's out there? Oh, nobody else? Okay, so his one endorsement ended up falling on its fucking face. He's popular in Florida. Can't take that away from him. Are his policies popular with the rest of the nation, though? That is yet to be seen. I think they could be. I think that they probably will be. I even have him earmarked for 2028, okay? I think it's going to be him versus Gavin Newsom, and that'll be a sketchy situation. But that's another topic, another time into the far future at this point in time, okay? But to think that Ron DeSantis can just extrapolate this success specifically into the rest of the nation that has really just doubled down on their own policies in a time of crisis with rampant inflation, with record high prices for fuel. Oh no, right now they're down to twice what they were when the president inherited the office, and that's a good thing, right? In a recession, or on the precipice of a recession. Not entirely sure what kind of naming conventions we're going for at this point in time. You have people, and we've looked through most of the elections that went on last night and the results that are out there. People wanted exactly what they had before, okay? And then the people in the cities that are dictating the direction of the states, more so than they have before, understood that their lives really didn't change all that much. Those were the same people that were fine putting on the mask, okay? Because they'd go to their place of work and type on a computer, or when they were told to just stay home, don't do anything, they could still type on a computer at home. Their lives did not change. They did not feel the full wrath of anything. Ergo, they would just continue to vote for the exact same stuff. And that's why Democrats were pushing all that fear-mongering, because you take a look at their base, you take a look at who's out there. And once we have more complete numbers of who came out and voted, because I've seen a couple of preliminary numbers of the way that Zoomers were voting, plus 30 for Democrats. Republicans need to find a way to reach out to the younger audience, and I think I got a little bit of a solution to that. But we're just about through all of the news and all of the results right there. But saying that Ron DeSantis should be the nominee for 2024, pump your fucking brakes. Who did he defeat? Charlie Crist. Is he going to be facing a Charlie Crist in the general election? No, he's going to be facing a much more competent, much more capable individual. Even if it is Joe Biden in 2024, which is very possible. It's very possible that could end up happening. He's going to have the full force of the media apparatus running against you. Sure, oh, he just delivers the exact same message that Trump does. He's just nicer about it. Cool. He's still going to be called a Nazi. He's still going to be becoming the second incarnation of Hitler. He hasn't had to face any of that shit before. All of this stuff is incredibly fucking hard. He might be able to deal with it, not taking that away from him, of course. But for this is for all those people that, oh, look at that crushing victory that he had out there. Bruh, take a look at what happened in Michigan right there. Gretchen Whitmer, everybody knows the awful shit that she was doing. Fuck, she faked her own kidnapping attempt, and guess what? She ended up crushing somebody who was reaching up a little too high. Just about 500,000 fucking votes, okay, for a state that she locked down while she was out there on a yacht with her husband while everybody else was kept in their fucking places at gunpoint. And who the fuck was Tudor Dixon? She was reaching a little too high for her position, okay? Not everybody is Trump. Just because they might sound like Trump or just because they have the celebrity of Trump doesn't mean that they are the complete fucking package. The only person I see that's out there is Carrie Lake, and we're going to have to wait until, I don't know, fucking Christmas in order to figure out how that one's going to shake out. It's only a couple thousand votes, but Maricopa County and the fact that their tabulators were confirmed to be malfunctioning on election day. Even when we get to the end of counting the ballots of this election, we're going to be going to a recount, and who fucking knows how long this is going to take. Authorities in Maricopa County, Arizona confirmed Tuesday morning at a news conference around 20% of the vote centers in the county are experiencing issues. Again, like I was following and taking a look at a couple of the people that were reporting some stuff, and Razor Fist, once again, he's down there in Phoenix, in Maricopa County, and he was saying that, yeah, his ballot was fucking up a bunch, okay? And that he was told 1 in 5 of the tabulators were not working. 20% of your election machines that have only one fucking purpose and one time every 2 years where they need to work and they fucking can't. Do you not test this shit beforehand, or do you have ulterior motives? I'm not making any definitive claims on this one. I'm just asking a couple of questions. Around 4 p.m. Eastern Time, Maricopa County officials said they have identified a solution to the tabulation issues. Just counting the fucking ballots. How about that one? A dozen of polling locations blaming printer settings. Fuck off. They filled out their ballots with Sharpies and we can't figure out how to count them. Holy. And about 20% of the voting centers where people will go and try to run a ballot through this tabulator. Maybe 1 out of every 5 or so, and those ballots are not going through, said Maricopa County Board of Supervisors Chair Bill Gates. It's not like both of the tabulators in these 20% of locations are having issues. It might only be one. So yeah, Maricopa County is doing Maricopa County things. And yeah, before we get too excited about Nevada, because again, yeah, you take a look at the Senate race that's out there. Sure, the Democrats won with Fetterman, so that's a flip of a Republican seat. And then you move over to Nevada, and at least right now, it looks like, okay, they're going to end up, the Republicans are going to end up gaining a seat there. So now we're just back to 50-50. Okay, so Nevada midterm election results still mired in mail-in ballot backlog. Yeah, okay, yes, again, Maricopa County and mail-in ballots. Stop me if you've heard this before. By late morning, the day after the election, about a quarter of ballots cast in Nevada midterm elections remained untallied, leaving results in 5 key races undetermined. Toss-up races in the Senate, 3 House seats, and the governor's office are still too close to call. And yeah, it will probably follow a similar timeline to that of Maricopa County. But okay, let's just say everything just ends up staying the way it is. Okay, Laxalt ends up winning the Senate. Blake Masters, I'd love to see him pull it out, but I think he's still about 5 points behind. It'll be tough. It'll be very tough. I like Masters. I think he's a good candidate, and Mark Kelly is, bought and paid for by the CCP. So, you know what, hey, your mileage may vary on that one, but if you like gun control in the state of Arizona, you're in the wrong fucking place. Or welcome. You, like many other Californians, have made the obvious choice. But yeah, once again, we're running back the exact same storylines. Mail-in ballots, Maricopa County, and a runoff election in Georgia. This is where everything is going to be tested, because there's one election. Warnock is doing this again, okay? You know what? I'd feel a little bit more sorry for him, but I don't have that much sympathy for a wife beater. Georgia Senate election between Warnock Walker officially headed to a runoff. That is going to be happening December 6th. So, if that's the case, if the Republicans end up taking back the House, and that this election right here is going to mean control of the Senate, if this is going to be the 51st vote in either direction, 51st for the Republicans or the 50 vote with Kamala Harris, we're the exact same fucking situation, okay? It's just instead of having one rhino in Pennsylvania, or even more specific than that, okay? Let's just go ahead. Let's just say, Walker ends up winning. He's, I think, only, now that everything's been all said and done, it's only half a percentage point there. Now, all of the money, all of the press, all of the campaign rallies are going to be specifically on this election right here. Maybe GOP Incorporated, okay, is actually going to fund Herschel Walker in some form or fashion. Maybe he's actually going to get proper support because of the enormity of this upcoming election. That would be nice. This will be the kingmaker moment, okay? Trump goes down there and busts his ass for Herschel Walker, and everybody else comes out in support of Trump for the rallies. That will be upcoming. I don't know if there's any announcement on anything concrete as of right now, but if everybody falls in line for Trump and he ends up winning, if Herschel ends up winning, that's Trump 2024 right there, okay? That's why I think he could still hold to his exact same plan that he said. Mar-a-Lago announcement, November 15th, big unifying moment for the GOP. Taking back the House, the potentiality of the Senate being right there, that could test his mettle, okay? And especially if he gets everybody else on brand for that one, that would be a big moment, okay? And that would be the course, okay? That would just send a message to the establishment out there, get the fuck in line or get the fuck out of the way. Or, conversely, if the establishment is being spiteful, which we can't discredit that being a certainty, Trump goes out there, busts his ass for Herschel Walker, does the exact same shit, and then he ends up coming back and he ends up losing, and you're going to see the challengers pop in. Then you'll see DeSantis pop his head in because he'll be all full of piss and vinegar, okay? He'll have some of the establishment types pop in his ear, give him some funds in order to make a run at 2024. That's when you're going to see the infighting, and that's where you're going to see all of the fucking vultures in the media and in the Democratic establishment start to fucking circle because, hey man, they know the disaster that they have in their own home, and they would just love nothing more than to just distract away from that in order to capitalize on the chaos that's happening on the right because they can't fucking figure out what's going on. The only reason that it wasn't a bigger, more comprehensive victory, because you take a look at the numbers like we did before, okay? The places that were red got redder. The places that were blue got bluer. Places in the middle trending red. This is the shit that we've been seeing for a long time, okay? Biden is not popular. This was not a referendum on the country in support of Uncle Joe, okay? This was the cities still loving Democratic policies because sadomasochism is strong in the fucking metropolises. I don't understand, but to each their own. Things are only going to get fucking wilder from here on out, okay? It's going to start soon, whenever they finish counting all the ballots, okay, for this election cycle right here. December 6th, and the lead up to that is going to mark some of the craziest fucking times to have ever been alive. You thought 2020 was wild, okay? Strap the fuck in, because you don't know what the fuck Joe's going to be doing. You don't know where the hell the Republican Party is going at this point in time. But one thing's for certain, I'll be throwing in my 2 cents, hopefully when I feel a little bit more coherent, because this bitch got a little bit rambly towards the end, because it's way too fucking long. But anyways, that's all we know right now. I'll hopefully be able to, punch in and hop in when we figure out what more concrete is happening out in Nevada and Arizona. I'm paying attention to that stuff because I like the people that are out there and running, and I like the direction that it's going out there. And then, of course, following this stuff in the aftermath out a little bit more further. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.